It is one of the venerable franchises in American sports, the New York Football Giants. "66 years of professional football." Sam Huff, a middle linebacker who anchored many of the great Giant defenses. They were NFL champions in his rookie year, and now a future Hall of Famer lurks in the Giants defense. He's already been a 1 Super Bowl winner.
We have the opportunity right now with this type of team to go the distance, and nobody and no one unit want to be the unit that keeps us from getting to our ultimate goal.
Charlie Connerly from Ole Miss quarterbacked the Giants in 4 of the team's 15 league championship appearances. Phil Simms, the Giants quarterback of today, has led this team to a perfect 7-0 record, the best start in the history of the franchise.
The difference between 6-1 and 7-0 are great. In the eyes of you, the eyes of America, and the eyes of other players in the league, probably. So that's good. It keeps pressure on us, and I think that as athletes, we all would like to have a little of that pressure and the eye focused upon us.
The undefeated New York Giants meet the Indianapolis Colts on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Super Bowl season on ABC. The big game each week is their specialty. I gotta get ready, make everything right. Monday Night Football's coming on tonight. Are you ready?
It's party time.
I said, are you ready? Yes. Are you ready for some football? Hey, Monday Night Party! Hey, super rockin' red so hey, ready to get the thing started. Friends are back for Monday night. Yes, everybody is a fan. This is the biggest party fan. Yeah, we got the week, it's the time that is right. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
The Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana, on a damp, blustery Midwestern evening. But inside, a capacity crowd, 60,000 plus on hand, as the New York Giants are in town to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Again, everyone, I'm Frank Gifford along with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us, and this is a game that many people are calling a mismatch. You talk to the Giant players, they'll tell you it's not a mismatch. They would like to win tonight to stay with the San Francisco 49ers at 8-0 and the only 2 undefeated teams in the National Football League. Meanwhile, the Colts have struggled early in the season. They are 2-5, and they are trying to look for a little bit of self-respect. They will go with their young quarterback, Jeff George, tonight, that they gave up so much talent for to acquire as the #1 player in the draft. Eric Dickerson will be making his 3rd start after his long and celebrated holdout, and maybe he'll return to the Dickerson of old. Meanwhile, the Giants do not have the fancy names that you will find on the offensive team of the 49ers, like the Rice and, of course, their big quarterback, Joe Montana, but they have Phil Simms, who has been around. He's been there before. They have a young developing offensive line, and defensively, they are solid throughout. And they do have a superstar there, a superstar among superstars, and that would be, of course, a Lawrence Taylor. All in all, Al Michaels, the Giants, would have to say, is a team, however. This is the team that seems to be happy with each other. They like to play together, and, of course, Bill Parcells like to say they are a focused team, and they are not looking to December the 3rd in the San Francisco 49ers. They are in Indianapolis tonight. They are looking at the Colts, and that's about it. At least that's the party line. We know we're looking forward to it.
You know, every time I watch them play this year, Frank, I keep thinking of that interview we've seen 1,000 times. Interviewer says to Coach, what do you have to do to win? And the coach says, well, we have to do 3 things. We have to control the ball, we need good play from our special teams, and we need to eliminate mistakes. We've heard it 1,000 times. It's the ultimate cliche, but that's exactly how the Giants have won thus far this season. They are a perfect 7-0 because of those reasons, and they have done it without pizzazz. Think about a couple of things. Their running game is averaging only 3.5 yards a carry. That's on the underside of mediocre. As far as their receivers are concerned, their leading wide receiver has caught only 10 balls, which is an inordinately low number, and Lawrence Taylor doesn't have a sack in 4 games. Between now and that big date in San Francisco on December 3rd, the Giants' biggest opponent might be complacency. And that might be the biggest opponent tonight, Dan, because the Indianapolis Colts come in. Do they have a slim and none chance tonight or a none and none chance?
Well, Al, if they win, you may have to resurrect your do I believe in miracles line, because it's a long one for the Colts. And I think rather than winning, I think they're looking, well, of course they're going to try to win, but there's some interesting things that have to happen tonight for them to win. One, they can't have drop passes, they can't have fumbles, they can't have the obvious mistakes that kill a team. But Jeff George, the #1 pick of the draft, making his 4th start here this evening. In Indianapolis, by some in the media and even some of the players on the Colts, he's been labeled as the kid with the golden arm, but maybe a heart of tin. They think maybe in some of his injuries he could still be playing. Sometime tonight, Jeff George is going to take a shot from Lawrence Taylor, Leonard Marshall, or somebody like that. He's either going to head to the huddle or head to the sideline. Which direction he goes might determine which direction his franchise goes.
Birthday. Over the weekend, 10 touchdown passes and 1 interception, and that was opening night against Philadelphia. Anderson and Carton with him in the backfield at the outset. Ingram and Baker are the wideouts. Bavaro is healthy, the tight end. And when he's healthy, the Giants are a whole other team. Moore, Roberts, Oates, Kratz, and Riesenberg. Now a look at the Indy defense, a basic 3-4. With Donnell Thompson out tonight, Clancy the start at left end, Armstrong in the middle, and John Hand on the outside. Good linebacking with Banks, Farad, Young, and Bickett. And a secondary that's been very suspect. Good and Daniel at the corners, and Taylor all at 5 from the 25. The Giants with 3 tight ends, and they run Anderson off the left side. And as we stated at the top, the Giants functional and very efficient. The 3rd and call it inches from the 30-yard line. And it is Anderson again, and it's a typical New York beginning. A first down as Anderson carries out to the 35, stopped by Bickett. Meggett in motion. On 3rd and 9, Sims hits Hampton for a first down, and he's tackled at the 50 by Jeff Harrod. Rodney Hampton opted to come out after his junior year at Georgia. The Giants picked him #1, and when 3rd and 11, out of the gun from the 49. Ingram in motion. Sims with a lot of time again, looking for Stephen Baker, and Baker makes the catch at the 11-yard line. He got by Eugene Daniel, and Baker really beginning to emerge lately as the Giants look for that one wideout, that one receiver who can turn into big play, and it's been Baker the last couple of weeks.
Baker gave a little in move, got behind him with a great speed, and Baker, as Al pointed out, has become a big offensive tool for the Giants recently. I mean,
they can get a first down without a touchdown. Baker in motion. Sims look toward Baker and then gets buried at the 22-yard line as Sam Clancy gets the sack. Former basketball player out of the University of Pittsburgh.
End of the world. Not like an interception would be.
2nd and 21 from the 22. They set up the screen, and it is Anderson who gets to the 16-yard line.
Play in, and here is the screen. And Roberts, number 66, is out in front of it. Anderson tries to break it back in, sees nothing there, goes outside and picks up a few yards.
Down and 15. Sims to the 10-yard line. It's complete there to Dave Meggett, but he is stopped at the 7, and the Giants will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Matt Barr to attempt a 23-yard field goal. Hostetler will put it down at the 13. And the Colts team charging through and nearly got the block, but he boots it through. Eugene Daniels stretching out, nearly got a hand on it. So Sims guides them down for a field goal off the opening drive. And with 6:40 to go in the quarter, the Giants draw first blood. Well, he chose to come out. Colts made a big trade for him. And here he is now again a starter, despite the abdominal strain and the knee injury last week. And with him, Dickerson and Bentley. Hester and Brooks are the wideouts. Pat Beach is not only the only tight end in this set, he's the only tight end on the roster. The guys up front, Donaldson and Call in particular, have been very blunt about their relationship with Eric Dickerson, who was severely critical of the Colts offensive line. And the 3 guys up front to start, Dorsey, Howard, and Washington. We'll also see a lot of Leonard Marshall. Cooks is a former Colt, Deossie Johnson and Taylor, with Carl Banks still on injured reserve. Collins and the former Cowboy Walls are the corners. Jackson and Guyton are the safeties. 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. They have to get to the 34 for a first down, and it goes right through the hands of Bentley, who would have been short of the first down anyway. He was covered by Renee Thompson.
This man you took a look at, Dave Meggett, leads the National Football League in punt return.
And Meggett from the 29-yard line eludes a tackle and makes something out of nothing as he takes it back to the 42.
The NFL record for interceptions in one game is 4, held by many players, including one who accomplished the feat in a Monday night game. Who is that player? Johnny Robinson of the Chiefs, Ken Easley of the Seahawks, or Dick Anderson of the Dolphins? Which would you choose? In a 1973 game versus the Steelers, Dick Anderson intercepted a record-tying 4 passes. If you said Anderson, you made the right choice.
This Saturday, here are the Giants from the 42-yard line. Sims on first down, dumps it off to Anderson with a lot of blocking. And O.J. takes it to the 45 of Indianapolis. A 13-yard gain. Daniel makes the stop. 1st and 10. Anderson again for 5 functional yards to the 40. It'll be 2nd and 5. And to the right, Baker to the left, and Hampton in motion out of the gun. And they keep it on the ground and give it to Meggett. And Meggett spurts forward and picks up the first down as he gets to the 32. Harrod makes the stop. From the 32-yard line. The fake to Carson. And then Sims floats one perfectly to the 15-yard line to Dave Meggett.
We're seeing a lot of Dave Meggett.
Here's Anderson behind Carson to the 8-yard line. He is stopped by Tony Siragusa. Fast quarter, but nothing new for the Giants. There are the numbers. The only time you ever want to see a 0 on your side is under turnovers. I can't recall seeing that. No first downs, no rushing yards for the Colts.
Well, Ron Meyer told us he didn't expect to win the game running the football. I see that stat is borne out right there.
As we start the second quarter, the Giants from the 8, and it's Anderson who gets to the outside and is just short of the first down, and a flag is thrown for a possible face mask infraction.
Watch Banks there, number 51. Let's see. Yep, you can see the left hand right there on the face mask. He gets the incidental variety, which is only a 5-yarder, but it moves the sticks. Racing the Colt defense at the line.
1st and goal, New York from the 2. Anderson. And he is in there. Touchdown. Late signal by the official, but Anderson breaks the plane, and the Giants lead 9-0. Down the field after taking the punt, Anderson scores from the 2. And just like that, in the opening seconds of the second quarter, 10-0 Gotham. 2nd down and 6 for Indianapolis. Giants on top 10-0 from the 33-yard line. As George gets sacked back at the 26-yard line, and that's going to be 3rd and 13. So 3rd and 13 from the 26-yard line, and on the draw, it's Bentley. Well, Mr. Vice President, there was a sign a few weeks ago that said, Deardorff, get a job, and if you're real good at this, he may have to get one. And a touchdown. And here is Lewis Tillman, who has been seldomly used in the last few weeks after the Giants ran him a lot in the first 3 weeks. Young and Taylor converge on the tackle. Gets helped off, and we will check on his condition post-haste as Carson takes it out to the 36-yard line, close to a first down in front. 1st and 10 from the 36. And a gain of about 7 for Dave Meggett. Mike Pryor to 3. Sims buys a little more time and then converts as he hits Bob Morosco, the Plan B pickup from the Houston Oilers when they went to the run and shoot in Houston. Morosco 3rd and 8. And again, here's where the Colts have been so vulnerable all season. 3rd and long. And it's continued tonight. And this time they're able to break the play up. It's a deflection. There's a flag down. All kinds of action. Taylor was the guy who popped Mark Ingram, and then the ball floated back toward the line of scrimmage as a flag was thrown for the contact.
Defensive pass interference, number 27.
And it's Steve Taylor with his
Near his hand.
first and 10 at the 29-yard line. Sims off a roll. Bavaro is the open man, and he takes it to the 20 on a similar type of play. They exploited that same pattern for a touchdown last week against Washington.
Half honor that block.
Sims 148 straight passes without an INT, and here's a first down and a lot more. It'll be first and goal as Lewis Tillman takes it to the 2.
Now, Tillman has not played that much over the past couple of weeks, and you can see right here he's a first-class running back. Meanwhile, on the bench is your #1 draft pick, Rodney Hampton, and we already have watched what Otis Anderson can do. And then you got Dave Meggett.
Same thing. First and goal from the 3. Here is Anderson, and he gets in for the touchdown.
I think your "Do you believe in miracles" line is safe, Al.
Yep, well, the Colts don't have Michael Ruzioni.
No.
Barnes gets in twice, and Gents lead 17-0.
Second effort again. Otis straightened up right at the goal line and just surges into the end zone to put the 6 on the board.
IBM presents You Make the Call. On third down and goal with 1 minute left, Don Mikowski of the Packers passes to Perry Kemp, who is hit at the 1-yard line and fumbles into the end zone, where another Packer recovers. Now you make the call. Is this a touchdown? What call did you make? In the last 2 minutes of either half, a fumble into the end zone may be recovered only by the player who fumbled. Packers ball at the 1.
Luncheon today where we all had the opportunity to share lunch with the locals.
Well,
Goes with their offense.
yep,
I think that's an intentional way of keeping the real score from being seen by the fans here in the Hoosier Dome.
18. Jeff George pressured from the backside and just throws it away, ostensibly intended for Eric Dickerson.
They're trailing by 17 points. There's Joe Ferguson, his 40-year-old backup over on the sidelines, who's going, "Go, Jeff, go."
Yep.
Hang in there, young man. You need the work. You need the learning experience.
18.
That's a 70-50 backs out there.
And George going deep for Brooks, and incomplete, and Brooks winds up playing defensive back because the pass was almost picked off by Mark Collins. Colts with a sole first down in this half. Giants trying to wrap it up by halftime as Sims has it deflected and intercepted, and finally something to cheer about as Mike Pryor takes it off the deflection by Keith Taylor. Full first half as they are 30 minutes away from going 8-0 into the Dome in the state's capital of Indiana. Halftime, 17-0 Giants. We're back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC station.
Guess who's winning? 44 total yards for the Indianapolis Colts and 1 first down. Just about as bad as it gets. Dome about, 6 o'clock Eastern? I imagine it's considerably colder than that now.
Second and 10, and Bentley finds a hole and takes it out to the 32-yard line. One of the rare times we've made a call for him tonight, and I don't think I've called Lawrence Taylor's name on one play, and yet here are the Giants pitching a shutout from the 32-yard line. And the catch is made by Stanley Morgan, the long-time New England Patriot.
Oh.
But they've had the ball for only 7 plays on the ground as George hits Morgan. He's into Giant territory, and that's virgin territory for the Colts as he takes it to the 40. And so 3 successive first downs. That time Howard and Johnson hit George as he released.
To 1979.
Well, Belichick is the guy that has head coach written all over him. I think it's almost mandatory within 5 years he'll be a head coach in this league.
On 2nd and 5, nearly intercepted. Then
when you have LT and you have Pepper Johnson still in there, you're getting a rush.
3rd and 5. And they give it to Bentley, and that doesn't fool anybody. He breaks the first couple of attempts, but then gets buried at the 38.
Knock this ball away and try and pin them inside the 10. I mean, it is still only 17-0.
They have to get to the 30-yard line, and he hits Brooks for a first down. Billy Brooks stopped by Walls at the 20-yard line. And George throws a little out pattern to Hester for a gain of 7 to the 13-yard line. Myron Guyton bumps him out. 3rd and 2 with Hester in motion. George look out from the backside and then is lucky it wasn't intercepted. He tried to hit Hester as Taylor came flying in, and Greg Jackson had it and couldn't hold it.
Taylor doesn't get this very often. Here he beats Moss, spins right around him. George has delivered the ball. I think they could say he hit him in the face with the forearm, which he did, and brought the flag.
Well, here comes that moment that I talked about at the top of the telecast, where some people have questioned Jeff George and his toughness.
Number 56, roughing the passer, to the head.
That's a pretty good whack he takes there from Lawrence Taylor.
Brooks in motion. And George throws underneath. The catch is made at the 1. It is Billy Brooks who makes the catch, and the Giants, for the moment, able to keep him out of the end zone.
An uncatchable ball, a little closer. That might have drawn a flag.
Bentley, touchdown.
Well, Albert Bentley never made it across the goal line, but the football did. That's risky. That's a good way to get it knocked out of your hands, but that was the only play afforded to Albert Bentley because he did not get across the goal line. He got the ball across. Of course they're saying it after the fact.
Of course. Who's saying it after the fact?
Lawrence Taylor got nailed as he tried to go up, which he does. Customarily, that is Cumberland who catches Lawrence Taylor, and great play by Bentley to get it in the end zone for the Colts. The Giants will be talking it over in the sidelines right now.
30, 1st and 10. Otis Anderson begins where he left off. Sam Clancy after a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Anderson again. He's out to the 40, and that's very close to a first down.
And the way Bill Parcells puts an emphasis on it.
On 1st and 10, here's Bavaro. And the Giants tight end takes it into Indy territory, and that's close to a first down. Anderson, about 4, tackled by Young and Pryor and others.
Well, you see Kratch and Harvey Armstrong get into it. Armstrong came up.
Under 5 minutes to go in period. 2nd and 6. Sims, a little safety valve to Anderson, and he gets wrestled down as he reaches the 40-yard line. Fred Young, the first to hit him.
And the Cardinals were still in St. Louis.
3rd and 1. And did Carson make it or not? Very close.
He got down low enough, and it looks like he does have it.
2nd and 10, New York at the Colts 40. And Sims gets sacked at the 48-yard line by Chip Banks. Trying to really get back in it, down by 10. A little screen set up to Hampton. He's inside the 40, seeking the first down, gets to the 30. He's about a yard short. Anderson, the sole running back in this set. He gets the ball. He gets the first down, and the Giants keep the drive alive, taking it to the 24. So the big play on the 3rd down and 18. Hampton gets 17, and then Anderson takes him to a first down.
Nevertheless, they're in the same backfield together.
2nd and 8. Simmons throws to Mega. He loses the football, and Indianapolis has it at the 12. Quarter gets underway. Jeff George has an open man. It's Brooks, and he has a first down. Billy Brooks out at the 41-yard line. Perry Williams.
Very much in the second half.
2nd and 10. Bentley. Up to the 46-yard line. Lawrence Taylor.
Taylor had to give ground to get off that block. That's why you saw the 5-yard pickup.
3rd and 5. Big rush. Johnson with the sack. The ball is alive. It's picked up by Dave Duerson, the former Bear. And Duerson in for a touchdown.
Well, you knew the minute I talk about not a lot of pressure here in the second half, that would curse the Colts, and that's what happened. Pepper out of there. Watch it. Here we have it ISO'd for you. Just strictly an upfield rush by Pepper Johnson. And Jeff George never saw him.
Talked about earlier the good year that Pepper is having. Both they leave him in there on their prevent defense, their nickel and their dime defense, and
first NFL touchdown here tonight. 24-7.
Again, good coverage. Forced George out of the pocket, looking for a receiver. Johnson comes around the horn, nails him, and Duerson takes it in.
Second and 10. Leonard Marshall.
Ooh, so close to 2 points.
Back at the 1-yard line. That's an 11-yard sack for Leonard. 3rd and 22.
And here comes an all-out blitz.
Whoa, Bentley avoids the safety. Walls makes the tackle up at the 4, and that gives Stark a little bit of kicking room.
Good Bill Parcells. That was a 2-point mistake.
Ron Stark's kick. Fielded by Meggett at the 41, and he returns it to the 38, setting the Giants up in relatively prime field position with 11 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Sims. The screen. Here's Tillman. Stop at the 39. You know, I'm thinking of a funny thing. When's the last time you can remember the Giants are going to remain unbeaten?
The 4th to Williams.
George Steinbrenner went to Williams. Faye Vincent went to Williams.
That's not the one I'm looking for.
And your boxing partner.
Yeah,
Dave Meggett.
Alex Swallow went to Williams.
To the 33. How do you think I know all this stuff? And did you get also Jack Maitland, who's probably the most famous player to ever play for Williams, who's lined up as a wing on the left. This time Barr will attempt it from 50, and the kick is no good.
That was right at the edge of Matt Barr's range.
Top 24-7.
Well, they'll get their chance. December the...
It's enjoyed over the last 3 decades, and here was the end of the game as Alan the Horse Amici scores the touchdown in the first overtime game in the history of the league.
Is that where the old expression, he's a horse and a half, came from?
1 quarter too long for us.
3rd down and 9. George throws, and the catch is made by Stanley Morgan, who keeps the drive going, taking it down to the 26-yard line, where he's stopped by Dave Duerson.
Well, Giants with 7 defensive backs in there now.
First down, Colts at the 26 as Dickerson cannot slip a tackle from Pepper Johnson, who adds a little emphasis as well, verbally. Line. Taylor takes an inside rush, still gets double teamed, and Pat Beach makes the catch at the 23. Colts from the 24. George going to the end zone and can't get it to Clarence Verdun. He was covered rather well by Perry Williams. 4th down and 8 from the 24-yard line. And the catch is made by Verdun. And so for the second time in the game, the Colts convert on a 4th down. Brooks makes the catch, gets to the 3, Pepper Johnson.
You got a pretty good item. You made a good deal.
3rd and goal. Colts trying to keep breathing, and they can only get to the 1-yard line. Jesse Hester is there.
I mean, here the Colts are on the verge of scoring their 14th point if they're lucky enough to get in.
And on fourth down, lost it into the end zone and broken up. A flag is down. Greg Jackson was able to knock it away from Jesse Hester.
We talked about how his rapid development as a safety man.
Disregard the flag. Disregard the flag.
Okay. And Jackson made a tremendous play here. Number 47, the third-round draft pick of a year ago. Hester makes the break to the outside. George put it up there. Now watch Jackson recover. He knows he's got to be playing tight. He goes up with both hands and knocks the ball out. That's a Pro Bowl play. Great effort just to get back into it. Now, both hands, you're allowed to do it. You're not screening. You're not face guarding.
Sean Landeta, the only guy in the league to get more publicity in Vanity Fair than Sports Illustrated.
The king of page 6. He does work the Big Apple.
Verdan fields at the 48, taken down at the 44, and our 2-minute warning comes with exactly 1:50 left in the fourth. And the Giants on their way to a win, and yesterday it was Barry Sanders with his great run for a touchdown to put Detroit 3 touchdowns in front of Washington, and that's when Joe Gibbs went to the bench. He went with the former Giant Jeff Rutledge, and with just seconds left in the game, Rutledge right here scoring his first ever NFL touchdown to tie the game in regulation. And then in OT, it was Chip Lohmiller booting this field goal. And the Skins go back to the nation's capital, a 3-point victor at Pontiac. And next week we have Washington at Philadelphia.
Half and attempting 42 passes in the remainder of regulation and then overtime. That's airing it out.
Unbelievable.
I bet he had that many reps in practice since he arrived there.
Dickerson makes that catch. Our thanks, as always. Boys, we will reconvene in Philadelphia next week.
Save a lobster for me. We'll be on our way.
Giants win it by a score of 24-7.